Vignetting is a really powerful and fantastic tool for wildlife photography. It basically spotlights your animal. It's great for center-weighted photos. And the gist is it kind of has, you know, remnants from the film days or maybe like lower quality lenses when you get natural vignetting from certain types of lenses. And the basic gist is that it just has dark corners. It's like darkened corners. So we now have the ability today in Photoshop, Lightroom, Camera Raw to add vignetting. And it gives a little bit of a look of like film from yesteryear, but it also just has this artistic vibe. It makes photos look more dramatic. It helps focus the viewer on what you're trying to showcase in the photo. But the thing is, in the theme of this episode is that the global vignetting slider is rarely what I use to vignette. Even though I vignette a lot of my photos, I do something different. It doesn't involve that slider at all. It actually involves using a radial mask, inversing it, and exposure. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it with shortcuts on the keyboard for Lightroom. I'm also gonna talk about Camera Raw, which I use equally as much. But this is a way more customizable, way more interesting way, way more fine-tuned way to do vignetting in your photos. And it's really great because you don't just get this global edit where every corner gets darkened equally down from all four corners. You can move where the vignetting goes. You can adjust the strength of the vignetting. And it's just so great. So let's move on over to my editing screen here. I'm gonna show you how it's done. Okay, so we've got this cool photo, figure out my left and rights, photo of an elephant or of elephants in Tanzania. And let me just start off by saying why I like this shot for vignetting is that we have a relatively strong single subject with, frankly, some distraction. You've got some acacia bush, you've got some distant mountains, you've got that weird little sliver in the upper corner, but I don't really want to crop in much. You've got other elephants. So this is a classic photo for vignetting, and I don't want to just do a global vignetting, but I'm going to show you what that would look like just to show you why I don't really like that. So here's the raw photo. I haven't yet adjusted, contrast or saturation or anything, but essentially if I come down to this vignetting slider, if I darken it, notice how it just darkens equally. Obviously that's way too much, blew out the photo. And it just comes in and it's only on the center. So you could come down to this little pane here and start doing some customizable stuff with the vignetting, but this method is way better and way easier. So basically what you do is you start off with your main editing pane. You can start with edit. I usually hit E to come back to the main editing pane. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit R, okay? So R is gonna be a shortcut for a radial mask. And I'm just gonna mask roughly the size and the shape of the center of the frame of the elephant. Like this is my spotlight feature. This is what I want to more or less get the attention of the viewer. And quick aside, these two circles, this is the extent, the outside circle, and the inside is the feathering basically. So that distance of the inside to the outside is the feathering. I have it on a relatively wide feather, which I quite like. It makes the edit look less harsh, a little bit softer, more forgiving. But the great thing about this variant of the vignetting tool is that you can adjust this like infinitely. But here's the real key thing is once I draw this, I don't want to treat the middle, I want to treat the outside. So Command I and it inverses. This is the big aha moment. So it's inversed. Now I'm treating everything around the middle and I can come over to my exposure slider and just darken the edges. And look how that creates kind of like the same thing as the vignetting. Now, of course, I might want to adjust this, I might want to move it, but the cool thing is I can adjust this and move it infinitely. So maybe I want a little bit of a squished vignetting. I can make it more of an oval here. And let's see how that looks. I'll just darken it a little bit. Sometimes what I like to do is just hover over the number and hit down on my keyboard to just make small little adjustments just to see how it looks. And I like that a lot. So we'll hit E to save that and lock it in. I'm getting some white above this, so I could come back over here very easily, go to my mask, and I could just squish it a little bit. That's probably the right thing to do. Or I could just move it down a little bit, so that way the light doesn't actually appear on the back mountainside. So I like that a lot. Hit E, very, very cool. If I want to do another layer of this, I could just hit R again, and I could go ahead and do like a big one, just so I'm treating the actual corners, much more like the classic vignetting tool. Hit Command or Control I, and then now I'm just doing the very corners, so I can have multiple layers of this vignetting. And this is so dang cool. I mean, look at how much flexibility I have. This little blue right here, in case you're wondering, is I'm clipping the shadows. But you have a lot of flexibility here. It's infinitely customizable. You can go back and you can change it multiple times. It's just a great tool. So again, the stepwise process of this is one, find the right photo to vignette. I do vignette a lot of my sort of portraiture wildlife shots. Then you're gonna hit R to create the radial mask, or in Camera Raw, you hit J. And then to inverse it, it's Command I or Control I. In Camera Raw, it's just X. I frankly find Camera Raw to be a little bit simpler, just to be totally honest. And then once you do that, then you just adjust those sliders. You can mess with the contrast, you can mess with the saturation, but for the sake of mimicking and customizing a vignetting tool, it's that exposure slider. So it's a great tool. I love vignetting. I think it's very, very powerful. This is not by any means the ending photo. This is just for example purposes. I would do a lot more to this, but you can see the exaggerated effects of this example I'm showing you. It's a really, really great way to have more control over your vignetting with wildlife photography. So if you enjoyed these simple editing tutorials, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a lot. I've got a lot more coming down the pike. And yeah, happy shooting out there and happy editing out there as well. Okay, see you next time.